Headlines. This is headline number 3.
1 in 3 adults in Korea is considered obese, with more than half of men in their 30s being obese, according to a recent survey by the Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
질병관리청이 최근 실시한 조사 결과 우리나라 성인 3명 중 1명이 비만으로 집계되며 30대 남성의 비만율은 절반을 넘는 것으로 나타났습니다. A lot of people are overweight.
Overweight and obese aren't even the same thing.
That's true.
Obese is very overweight.
Yeah.
Like not just a little chubby, it's very overweight. And with obesity, or if someone's considered obese, it's unhealthy. It's to a level of like you could have serious health consequences for carrying that much extra weight. Now, one of the interesting things that I found out when I was reading this is that the international standard for obesity is different than the Korean standard.
Oh, what
so
is that?
Korean stats are way higher than what it is internationally. So this headline is a little bit
Skewed.
it's massively skewed. So we call it BMI, body mass index. So the international standard is 30 or more for being considered obese. In Korea, it's 25. Now, what does that mean? Well, okay, here's an article I found that this was from 2018. Okay, so Korea reported obesity in 2018 as 34.6%. 34 points, that's big.
Okay, yep.
But the OECD, guess what they said Korea's obesity rate was?
What?
5.9%.
Wow.
So it's majorly skewed. But one other thing was, so there's been debate about this, right? Should Korea conform to the international standards?
Or should the world conform to us?
I don't think anyone said that, but there was debate about should Korea conform to the rest of the world, right?
Right.
So last year, though, the Korean Society for the Study of Obesity, they recommended that Korea maintains this standard of 25 for the BMI, and they cited research that said that for East Asian people, health risks rose significantly if you had a BMI of 25 or above. Whereas, like if you have a BMI of between 25 and 30. Internationally, you would just be considered overweight, not obese. And in English, obese is a very offensive term.
그래요. 자, 여러 가지 얘기를 지금 해주셨는데 정리를 하자면은 BMI라고 하잖아요. 체질량 지수. 우리나라에서는 25 이상이면은 비만으로 보는데 이게 우리나라에서만 그렇다라는 게 이제 웨이 선생님의 리서치 결과다라고 지금 말씀해 주셨어요. 국제적으로는 30 이상이어야지 비만으로 보는 것이기 때문에 그래서 우리나라에서 다소 비만율이 높게 나오는 것을 또 국제적인 기준으로 봤을 때는 맞지가 않더라. 심지어 이제 OECD 얘기를 하시면서 OECD에서는 우리나라에서 한 6% 정도의 사람만 비만이다라고 하는데 우리나라에서는 35%가 비만이다라고 하니까 이게 좀 차이가 많이 나네요.
That was 2018, but it shows the difference, right? It shows, so
interesting.
if they're saying, I think last year it was like 37% in Korea was considered obese. So what's that going to be? Probably 6-7% internationally.
네.
It's much lower.
근데 그 근거에 대해서도 잠깐 언급을 해주셨는데 왜 그러냐면은 이제 동양 사람들의 체질과 서양 사람들의 체질이 좀 다르기 때문에 그래서 아마 요 BMI가 좀 다르게 기준이 매겨진 게 아닐까 이런 얘기까지 해주셨습니다. 자, 그래서 표현 한번 볼게요. About a third of Koreans are considered obese.
Right.
Let's look at that.
Okay, you want to look at
the expressions.
Considered.
Oh, is that not one of our expressions?
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
To be considered something. So that means to be thought of as. So in Korea, they consider 1 in 3 people to be obese.
Yeah.
Internationally, it would be way less, right? So many other countries would not consider a huge chunk of those people, no pun intended using the word chunk, to be obese.
네, be considered something, 무엇으로 간주되다. And obese, of course, the noun form would be obesity, 비만이죠. Here it is one more time. 1 in 3 adults in Korea is considered obese, with more than half of men in their 30s being obese, according to a recent survey by the Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. All right, well, let's move on to the next headline.